it's good. It's rewarding, very rewarding.
Now you're the nationals are when? Saturday or Sunday for you guys?
It's Saturday.
Oh, so you're having those on Saturday?
Just this year. I think next year we'll probably do all our shows on a Sunday. It just works out better, really. The only places we don't do Sunday shows is in Bible Belt, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Speaking, Sunday shows allows us, it gives you more freedom. You know, and a lot of people just can't. A lot of people can't come to Saturday shows because they work.
Yeah.
As far as spectating goes, so like Sunday shows seem to work better for us. We'll see. Jean-Pierre, how are you, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good to see you. How you doing, JP?
Very, very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Very good.
So we're doing a breakdown of the Olympia today. Is that right, Jason?
Yep. We'll get on that in a few minutes. We got another guest coming, so I told him we'll.
Steve?
No, got shoot, I can't remember his name now. Paul from Fuad's channel. Paul Lauzon.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, he's coming. He said he's
today.
What's that?
Full house.
Yeah. So have anybody heard any updates on George?
None.
I've been looking all day today. I haven't been able to find anything.
I was thinking you may have some insights with your contacts. But...
No, because the one guy that I talked to that was down there, he wasn't in the scene. And once we do the investigation, the medical examiner takes over, and we don't have access to that stuff.
Right. Gotcha.
And if the family may decide they want to keep it private, and that's not public record. So,
understood.
So we'll see. So yeah. Did you guys see the let me see if I can put it on here before we get started. The article that Arnold was talking about here.
Yeah, I did see it. Yeah,
I did. Yes,
I did see that.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that for real quick. Basically, he's kind of taken some action. Well, I mean, he's talked about this before, and Jean-Pierre, you brought this up last time about when you guys were tested for diuretics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So basically, I'll just kind of read what he said here. You would think that the head trauma from MMA and football would outweigh the organ failure in bodybuilding, but bodybuilding is much, much worse. We have to fix that because bodybuilding should be about promoting health and fitness. I don't know if the answer is more testing or promoting the smaller divisions. And it says, what do you guys think? And for those watching, when they talk about promoting the smaller divisions, they mean like weight classes, not less people. So I don't know. That's I know we talked about it before about, I think we were all in favor of them bringing back testing for diuretics.
I think that's a good idea.
But do you think it'll actually happen?
I don't know.
Yeah.
The only people you could ask that really is the people that are running the IFBB. You know, it's certainly I would like to do with PCA.
I believe it will happen.
You do?
I absolutely believe it will happen. Especially, I think the promoter is pushing for it too. And I mean, guys are still going to look great. You know, I mean, silly. It's not like in '89 when they did the complete drug testing, where suddenly even Lee Haney looked kind of on the small side. You know? This just working a little bit more scientifically. You know, the last few days. I think it will happen probably sooner than later.
I mean, in the scheme of things, I think that'll be a plus for the sport because then people won't be so reliant upon, oh, well, I'm just going to pull water the last couple of days. And
exactly,
of course, it'll force somebody to really dig deep and, suffer to get into the condition that they need to get into.
And no more you got to be very careful with loading with 1,000 grams of carbs and a bunch of insulin, if the emergency trick cut that.
Now, let me ask a silly question. Are there any diuretics that are undetectable on a test?
Yeah, but you know, there is, I mean, I was looking into it for quite a bit in '96. And yeah, there was something like a plasma expander. But if they're undetectable, they're usually also not that strong. But then again, this is just the rumors went out that Ronnie had extreme trouble in '98 when he came to cramping up. And they used something, they had some kind of mix. I don't know what it is. So that's always the danger with any testing, that people will just dig very, very deep and find something else, maybe just as dangerous, but it's still worth doing it. The way it is right now, that's not the way to go into the future. I mean, yes, there will be new problems arising from that. I'm sure, but we can't go on the way it is. Now, again, I mean, what I heard is George did not even start with diuretics.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of figuring too, being that it was way earlier in the week.
And then when you have the last case was the big guy who fell off the treadmill dead, Dallas.
Yeah.
That was absolutely not a diuretic issue.
No.
So, but there was this girl. I mean, it's a first step. It's not going to solve the problems we have, but it's a first step in the right direction, I believe.
Yeah. Now, the things that I've read on some of these guys, some of it could be insulin. Do you think clenbuterol, maybe?
Clenbuterol, we did test for clenbuterol.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was part of it. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I know of a Brazilian who died backstage in South America taking a whole bunch of clenbuterol. I don't know what exactly his goal was. I think pumping up more, or I don't know. So insulin will not kill you, you know, except if you stop, if you forget to eat. But you know, I don't really see how that can kill you. But and you can't test for it anyway. It's a body own hormone. But yeah, we'll see what will happen. I'm pretty sure already at the honors class we will see direct testing.
Yeah, I think a lot of the guys in their cases have underlying issues that they're not aware of, and due to the drug use and other stuff, that may heighten those diseases or genetic issues that they have. I was thinking, like for boxing or any other athletic sports, they require you to get a health exam to pass to be able to fight or whatever. Why not institute that into the sport of bodybuilding? We'll force these guys to go to the doctor to get full exams so they can get their heart checked and they can get all their blood work run.
I'm a little bit afraid. If you mean the heart checks, you would have to do a couple of them to kind of measure the size of the heart and then compare them. Maybe I'm a little bit afraid when we go with heart capacity, there might be not too many competitors left.
But most athletes that you deal with, whether it's, you know, football, track and field, they all have issues like enlarged hearts and enlarged left ventricles. Their hearts are not, you know, in perfect form like an average person. So if you took that into consideration with athletes, I mean, that may give some more insights. It should be like an in-depth health scan or something to get so you can get approved. I don't know, because a lot of sports do that. So I don't know if that would help to some degree.
I think the root of the problem is what the direction the sport's gone. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, I have nothing but respect for any bodybuilder that steps on stage, and I'm a fan of muscle, obviously, but I think it's gone to a point where it's just the biggest, and I think that is partially because of what's been rewarded and what you know, everybody's chasing the top guy. Everybody's chasing the current Mr. Olympia. So if the current Mr. Olympia is walking on stage at 300 plus pound, then everybody else is going to want to walk on stage at 300 plus pound. And I don't know about you, but like, I think from back, well, I mean, look at Hadi. His conditioning was probably the only person on stage who was actually in condition, in what I call condition. And maybe if they rewarded that more, but there again, I'm being a hypocrite because you're talking about diuretics, and that's partially what diuretics do. But I don't know. I think that the general direction the sport's gone in. For instance, I wouldn't particularly want my son to be a bodybuilder nowadays. But when I was younger, I looked up to Lee Haney and people like that, and they were the people I aspired to be. And it wasn't they were massive, but they weren't. It wasn't just about the size.
No.
You know, it was about how they were put together. And I think, I think that's the root of it, the root cause of all this. And you know, when you see guys, I mean, I don't know about you, Phil and Jean-Pierre, but you could tell the guys who were in condition a week out from the show. You could tell by how drawn they were in the face.
The drawn in face, yeah.
You could see it. I mean, you didn't have to look how big they were in clothes. You could see it. You could see it on the back of the hands and the face. And a lot of these guys that I'm seeing go for like 3 days before the Olympia look like they're off season almost in the face. So obviously they're trying to pull a lot of water last minute, and I think that's where the issue lies. But correct me if I'm wrong. We all have opinions, right?
Yeah,
That's very possible. Yeah.
I mean, Hardy should have won. I mean, I can see that, but Hardy should only have won because he was in better shape. I mean, you know, if then Rammy shows up like last year, then Hardy should not have won. And it's kind of always hard to argue into a direction here. Big size, less size, you know. I mean, yeah. I mean, in this case, I don't think it would have helped bodybuilding in any way. The way what we are discussing here, Hardy should have won because he was in the best shape. That doesn't mean that guys would kind of inspire to go into a different direction. You know, the only reason he should have won because he was in better shape. It's a tough one, you know, how you reward smaller physiques or different kind of physiques. You know, I mean, it's just, I don't know how that should work in any way. What are you gonna do if you have another crazy Ronnie Coleman coming up? I mean, you're going to say, look, hey, you're a little bit on the big size. We're going to place you fifth. It's just.
It's not so much. I know this sounds silly. It's not just the size. I mean, as a bodybuilder from a while back, I know for a fact that you actually look bigger when you're leaner. So I think what's happened to a lot of bodybuilders nowadays, they're just chasing the measurement or the body weight to look bigger. And I honestly think Rammy, for instance, if he came in 15, 20 pound lighter, would look bigger.
Yeah, he would actually. The illusion of size.
Exactly.
And his muscles would appear more three-dimensional. So that's absolutely true.
Just like your physique, Phil. You know, I mean, how much did you weigh? You weren't a heavyweight, were you?
200 pounds. That's my best. That was it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm saying. You know, it's like, to me, bodybuilding is, I mean, look at Samir Banu. Samir Banu, the year he won the Olympia. Samir's not a big man.
No.
But it looked incredible. I mean, he looked huge when he was shredded like that. And I think that's what a lot of the bodybuilders are missing. Like, for instance, Brandon Curry. If Brandon Curry had come in, like, nailed his condition, I don't think anybody would have beaten him, personally. But again, it's an opinion-based sport. You know, everybody's got different ideas of what they want to see.
Yeah.
To be healthier, the problems are much bigger. When I see how we cycled, even compared to the 80s, we pushed it a lot more already. But you know, there were long breaks between cycles. There were breaks after shows. Where now, I mean, there's hardly any breaks. You know, they're going from cycle to cycle and just keep pushing and keep pushing, and it's hard to solve that problem. I mean, I think I did talk about that where I told athletes, no, I will not work with you. You know, you clean up 4, 5, 6 months, you do another blood test, back, and you know, that's kind of the way to stay healthier. Well, it doesn't mean that somebody cannot get extremely big if he has the genetics like I did, you know, but I don't know how to change that philosophy, you know. I enjoyed my time off very much. You know, I trained light to kind of enjoy life a little more between cycles. And today I can hardly get those guys to enjoy a minute if they're not on. You know, their whole happy system is out of sync. You know, so it has to go really deep here to health. And I don't know how we're going to go about that, or how they want to go about that.
Yeah, because when you look at for George Peterson, for instance, I mean, not to say that it was anything related to drugs with him, but he was extremely aesthetic, number one. And he had phenomenal conditioning. He was only like a little over 200 pounds. So it wasn't a size issue with him that put him in the, you know, that took his life. So, I mean, it's still yet to be known the cause of death, but I mean, so it's not, I don't think it's necessarily the, the chasing the size thing. It's just, I mean, who knows? I mean, if you start, penalizing, guys who are bigger, just genetically, some people can just grow and be bigger. You can't penalize them for that if they're on point. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I don't think you can beat. I think it's a general direction the sport's gone in. It's deep rooted. It's been happening for a long time. It's not something that's just changed over the last couple of years. And I just think it's become, like John Pierre said, a lot of these guys are not taking breaks. I know, for instance, a lot of the people that I work with, the first thing I normally do is I get them off everything and clean them out. And a lot of people don't like that.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, they're just pure. I mean, at that point, they just become pure drug addicts. They just can't mentally deal with the fact of being off. They think they're going to shrivel down and be nothing, which is absolutely absurd, because your receptors they respond way better given the good time off.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, do you guys watch wrestling lately? Have you noticed a difference? Remember the time when all the wrestlers were dying and stuff, and Vince McMahon, I think, finally had enough. And Ian, you did it. And he implemented the same drug testing that the NFL does. And if you notice wrestling now, the guys are a lot smaller. They're not as big as they used to be. There's very few freaks in wrestling anymore. So
but then you come to the age-old problem that people pay to see freaks.
Yeah, you got that too.
Bodybuilding show, that's what they do. I mean, it's a catch-22, really. It really is a catch-22. I think education is the big thing with people. And honestly, like, I don't even, when I'm saying about the size thing, what I'm kind of getting at is that I think because they're chasing that size game, they kind of rely on diuretics more. And I think that's why it's for that last minute fix, which makes them not want to diet down or lose any weight like far out. And I think that's kind of one of the things, but it's not going to solve every problem. I mean, the issue with George, it might be a genetic thing. It could be something completely non-related to any of this. Who knows? But generally speaking, there's just been way too many deaths in this sport in the last couple of years.
Yeah, good number. A real good number.
This year alone has been absurd.
Yeah.
Like a crazy amount, more than I can ever remember. I mean, people die every year, but this is much more than I can remember in the past.
Young guys too.
Yeah. Well, those are the guys that are willing to take the biggest risk. The younger guys.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, I don't know what the coaches are, who's administrating what they're taking, where they get their information. That's hard to say. I mean, but it's over the top. I think it's over the top.
I think that's another thing that kind of differentiates the errors. The athletes from you guys' errors you had to do your own research. You had to be diligent and go out and get all the knowledge and information for yourself. If not through reading and books from other athletes or something, where these guys just nowadays, it's just easy access. They can pull up any stupid little forum online. Listen to some idiot saying, this is what such and such does. This is what such and such does. This is Dorian's stack that he did back in, was like a third stack that Dorian's like, I never did that like that much, and they believe it as face value, and they do whatever they're told instead of getting the information themselves.
I remember I was under similar pressure growing up, and I do remember the rumors started. I traveled to the Netherlands for the summer. And then I was told, well, Barry DeMay takes 6-7 grams a week. It's probably total nonsense, but of course I was totally impressed. So I saw him in a guest posing, and that didn't impress me at all, if true or not. I mean, I think for myself, I looked at him and said, hey, I'm bigger already. He's a wonderful athlete, but whatever he does, that's not going to impress me at all. And what I always try to tell my athletes is, yes, it works better, more. For how long? 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. This is a 10-year project. You're going to need years to get to the level to be in the first call at Olympia. So it will get you nowhere. And if and with anything to do with dosages and how you, there will be totally different people in the first call, people we never hear of or never will hear of. So it can be explained. I don't understand where those coaches come from, where they get this from, other than just being so afraid, not having enough clients, or I don't know where the hell this is coming from to push drugs like that on people. It's simply almost like criminal.
Yeah.
You know, and then often when I ask guys, so can I ask you, who was your coach? I never even heard of those people, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll start talking about Olympia here. Everybody's seen it? I know, Phil, you said you were watching the highlights on it and stuff.
Yeah, only the highlights.
Yeah. So first of all, what do you think about Sean Clarita being dethroned?
I thought Derek Lunsford was incredible.
Yeah.
Especially from the front and from the back.
Yeah.
I think he beat him in the front double bicep and the front lat spread easily. Structurally, he was a lot better.
Yeah.
Had a better waist to shoulder differential, more of an X frame. So I wasn't surprised to see that. I guess I had the right guess on that one. I chose him before they had the night show.
Yeah, Lunsford looked better than he's ever looked. But when he stood next to Clarita, I mean, Clarita had so much separation and so much detail in his physique. I mean, he was just nutty looking. But, you know, Derek, just like you said, he had huge, great structure, perfect shoulder to waist ratio. I mean, he looked just pretty much dwarfed him. But Clarita, I mean, I got to give him props though. I mean, he was on point, and he was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I had Clarita edging out Derek. You know, I still feel like Derek, that's probably a genetical issue. It doesn't get hard in his shoulders and chest.
Yeah.
But then he has enough good things to kind of absolutely justify this result. It's just personally, I had him second, but by a small margin.
Yeah.
It's funny, you know, I don't know if his coach could explain me that when he's doing those weird muscular, keeping those arms so wide out there, and then not being hard, even worse, you know. Then I've seen a picture from backstage where he brings the arms in, you know, more, and it looks much harder. I don't understand. It drives me nuts every time. This is already very soft in the chest shoulder area, and then he keeps this kind of arms so wide out there, you know. I don't understand. But again, you know, it's not that I would say this is a bad result, you know. I can only, especially when I turn around, it's so game over. You know, he's so much better from behind. So it could have gone either way. I had Sean on first, Derek on second, but by a small margin.
Yeah, it's the scorecard has them 5 points apart.
Right.
Yeah, I think as a judge, it depends what you're looking for and what your preference is. Mm-hmm. And like Jean-Pierre said, I think you could have justified either of those two guys winning that, either of those two. But from a distance, or when you look at the silhouette, rather than just the detail, the silhouette of Derek is far superior, but his detail wasn't quite there. But I think Derek was kind of heir apparent in that class. I feel like as soon as he nailed his conditioning, he was going to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, they've had him heir apparent since Flex stepped away.
Yeah.
And he just never really brought it. And this is, you know, he finally, you know, put it all together and brought his best package.
I mean, we all know this should have been his third title, really, if you know, if he would have looked like this before. So yeah, there's all this okay. You know, I would probably have something like 7 points and not 5 and 10.
Yeah.
5, but other than that, it's pretty good judging.
Yeah. Yep. So Jean-Pierre, I'm sure you had to watch the Bikini, right? You said because of your wife.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend's a Bikini competitor, so I had to watch it too. So
I mean, it was, I don't know if you want to talk about it. I will only
yeah. Jennifer Dory got first, obviously.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, it's 7, 8, and 11 points. So 8, 9, and 11. I mean, it's incredible. It could have gone either way. You know, way better than the Arnolds and Laura Lee. The name is she is
Laura Lee. Yeah.
I mean, the glutes are just extreme. You know, so it could have gone either way. I love them all three. So and kind of anyway, it would have been fine with me. So what I did now last week, I kind of, when my girls told me, what about Alison Testu, who plays 12th? And so I put screenshots very, very close next to each other. And when you start and look at the details, like the roundness of the upper glutes and thing, the top three are the top three, you know. So it was very, 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 very high level, good show. I absolutely just Bikini.
What about Ashley? You think she'll ever win again, or you think she kind of competes too much?
No. She, if you keep winning, I mean, you compete, and there's just a couple of younger girls just edged out slightly. But like I say, she was 3 points behind, and she won 29 shows. You keep winning, you keep going. Why not? Yeah. And I think she could just. It's not bikini that you cannot step off and build up more muscle and then come back. It doesn't really work like that. So she does the right thing to just keep competing, as long as it doesn't hurt her on stage, And it doesn't. She was in perfect shape. Everything was fine. There was just 2 girls just slightly edging her out. So.
Yeah, I was pulling for Laura Lee. I thought she'd get it this year, but I think last year she got like 5th or 6th. So that was good for her.
Well, that's the one thing about the bikini division, though, that the title changes hands pretty frequently, which keeps it interesting. There's I mean, when was the last time in bikini there's been that one dominant that went on a long 3 or 4 year reign?
Ashley's the only Janet won it last year, right?
Yeah. And Leo Gay,
yeah.
Yeah, what Ashley won 3 years straight, correct? And she was the last one to do so.
I think so. Yeah. And then fitness, Missy Trescott, is that how you say your last name? She got dethroned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought personally, I thought she was going to win that show. I mean, she looked amazing.
Yeah, I thought so too.
In her the physique round, she looked phenomenal, and in her fitness round was like amazing as well. So
yeah. And then Miss Olympia, Andrea, she just blew everybody away.
It was like Lee Haney in his best years. I mean,
yeah.
That was not even close.
I think that's the only division that was like, that was like a clear cut, obvious. That she's the winner. That's it.
Yeah.
As soon as she walked on stage, she looked amazing.
I got to pull her up.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah, incredible.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's right up there with Kim Kichef, Iris Kyle, and Linda Murray, all the big. So that's just fun.
Yeah, very much so.
Even her physique this year from last year, because this is her second year winning the Olympia, correct?
Yep.
I mean, her physique this year was way improved, in my opinion. I mean, she was phenomenal last year, but this year she really just went to another level.
Yeah, I don't think I have last year's on here. It might be here somewhere. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, she looked awesome. Let's see who's next. I don't know much. Was this the Wellness's first year or second year?
Yeah, first year.
Yeah, I don't really know too much about them.
Well, that first call out was just something else. I mean, Yarishna, I'm pretty sure she saw herself already as the new queen and winner coming out of New York, and I think she got a little bit almost on the arrogant side, So she came in too soft, and the first 2, I mean, I don't know why Angela. I'm watching her every show for 5-6 years now, since back in her early amateur days in Colombia when I worked in Colombia. She just doesn't get those lower glutes as hard as the first place girl. There's rumors out there why. I can only, you know what I'm talking about, why the glutes are not getting this hard. But again, it could have gone either way there. The first girl was phenomenal. And I wish Angela was the wellness queen with 52 or 53 wins. She had 56 shows, 53 wins. I mean, it's crazy.
Wow.
And she lost. The first one she lost was because she was totally out of shape from all the traveling. Then she lost once against Yarishna, and then this one here. I mean, I wish she would have just kind of won this title and then become Rachel McLeish of wellness. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, and I think the door is closing now very, very fast for her. I mean, the first girl, those glutes is just perfect. And I kind of I knew if they go with her, they want to set the tone for the future. You come just crazy hard in the back, you bring the separation. They would have gone with Angela. They would have given more of their message out. We don't want this kind of hardness in the glutes. So they gave clearly the order out there. You guys come hard, And Both were phenomenal. Third place, Nunez, I'm a big fan of hers for years. She competed against one of my girls at the very first wellness show in the United States, LA Expo, early 2019. I remember the promoter invited a few girls from South America. So my girl, who was very, very good, took a picture of her at the weigh-in and sent it back to me to the hotel. She says, "Oh my God, what about this one? You think I can beat her?" And I said, "Suli, we're going for second place." You know, I mean, the girl is incredible. She's a little soft in the pre-judging from behind, from the back, but incredible in the finale. The top 3 or 4 are all incredible. What I was a little bit disappointed at in the wellness is the third, fourth call out back there. I expected the level to be a little deeper, or I don't know if a lot of girls didn't compete. You know, I've seen better girls all over the world competing in the wellness category, but that's probably going to change fast in the next few years. Yeah, it was absolutely incredible, that category. So looking forward to the future there. Yeah.
Do you think that was a good idea, then, bringing that category?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can. I mean, I know it's not about money, but you cannot leave all of that out there. You know, that was kind of the last thing Rafael and his IFBB had, was the wellness category. You know. And Angela, so now they're losing out there too. As I don't know what his future will be with his federation. Yeah, I love that category. And you know, if you saw how Bikini went a few years ago, where you had to almost slim down your legs to like skeleton size, and a lot of girls just don't have the kind of genetics. So you know, and then a lot of girls with the big leg genetics, they don't want to build up an upper body like a bodybuilding body, you know. So for a certain type of genetic, this is a great sport, you know. And it's very interesting how you have to build that physique. You know, you cannot just take more steroids to build up your legs, or your midsection, your upper body is gonna kind of get too big too. So you have to really be smart about how you do this. I absolutely love that category. It might not be from aesthetics as we know it, you know, or understand. It might not be exactly perfect category. It's just some absolutely love. I'm a big fan of wellness.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see real quick. The figure, Sydney Gillian.
Any pictures you can pull up there, Jason?
Yeah, I just got their line up here.
Yeah, Sydney's just structured.
Sorry, wrong button.
Yeah, Sydney Gillian is, she's just, I mean, structurally, she's just, I mean, amazing. She's just genetically gifted, and
let me see if I've got her.
She puts it all together too. So
I don't know. I saw her being pushed harder than usual. I mean,
yeah, I did see that as well.
Yeah, I mean, the second place, her midsection is even smaller than Sydney's.
Yeah.
Sydney wasn't as hard as I expected her to be in the pre-judging. So I expected something 7 and 8 points by 1 point, and it was then 5 and 10. I was a little bit surprised about that.
You know, so, I mean, I'm glad you said that, because I did see that myself. Yeah. I almost had her like almost taking her in the pre-judging.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting how Sydney reacts to that. You know, so in the past, I've seen her really walking away with 10 titles, but I'm not so sure anymore. She's getting some competition here, and what is good, you know.
I think she has a lot of irons in the fire. I know she was going to school and got her master's degree and everything. I think she may have finished it this year, so I don't know if that had to play with came into play with her prep or anything.
Well, and she won deserved. I mean, it's not that she was out of shape or anything like that.
No. Right.
What you guys think about? They were trying to do like some acting and role playing during the show. Did you see that? When they would bring up the curtains and they would do like acting like they were in the gym and stuff like that. Is that something new?
I've never seen that before. The little skits they were doing.
Yeah, the little skits. Yeah, it's
bodybuilding. The bodybuilding girls from the night before, they would have them out there doing stuff. And
yeah, and then there was one where what's his name? Batista was sitting there with one of the other guys. So I don't know. I guess they're trying something different. So there he is.
I'm Jason.
What's up, Paul?
How you doing, man?
How you doing, man? Welcome.
Good, thank you.
Hey. Paul, everybody, this is Paul.
I can't see anybody else right now.
I know? You can't see him?
No, I can only see you.
Oh, okay. I'll change it here.
Maybe it's my setting.
Yeah, maybe it's yours because
Oh yeah, there you go.
I have
Okay,
it set
got
with
it right now.
everybody. Yeah.
How you doing, guys?
Hey, Paul, how are you?
Good.
Good. Hi, nice to meet all you guys.
How's we just started. We're going over most of the females right now.
Okay,
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Yourself?
Good. How's Fuwad?
I was good.
Yeah, busy.
Yeah,
You guys busy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in Vancouver last week. I just got back from there. I was in Saskatchewan a couple weeks before that. Yeah, just been busy a lot with shows lately. Toronto.
Yeah. For you guys that don't know, Paul's an IFBB judge too. So.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm a head judge in Canada and a recently turned IFBB pro judge.
Yeah.
So he's the man we need here.
Yeah.
With all this, all those amateurs here at the table, we need you.
I'm in the company of some greatness here, some big names.
Yes, you are. We talked about the 212 before you came on, about Sean getting dethroned. You think Derek deserved that?
I mean, Derek's just such a more imposing physique, I guess you could say. You know, Sean being such a smaller, compact guy, and Derek is, you know, he's probably the biggest guy in any 212 lineup. I mean, as far as not just mass, but I mean, just his frame. He's a big dude for 212, very wide for 212. So I just think, you know, it was a matter of time for Derek where he just needed to hit his peak finally. And I think he finally did that. And so I think even though Sean was at his best too, like I you know, at least from what I saw, Sean looked like he nailed it again this year. But I think when you put two guys at their best with different physiques like that, the bigger guy kind of is, you know, going to win more of the times if he's, you know, provided everything's the same everywhere else.
Yeah.
But I do like Sean's physique a lot. He's just such a small guy, you know, like, you know, structure wise, but I love his physique. Like he's like a mini Ronnie Coleman to me.
Yeah, he is. He's awesome.
It's very impressive.
Let's see. Let's talk about. Let's go into classic. C-Bum. Let's see. I can get this picture pulled up here.
I think this is kind of the same situation like we were just talking about with the 212. You know, Chris just so much bigger than the other guys, and structurally, you know, he's just wide, and so when he stands next to a lot of the guys, he just, you know, dwarfs them.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I judge Chris as an amateur coming up, and yeah, he's just blessed. You know, he's just got one of those physiques where, you know, there's no weaknesses on that physique. He's ideal for classic.
How about this guy? He did good. Urs is his name, from Germany.
Yeah, he's good too. Eh?
Yeah, he was really impressive.
He was impressive, but I was really impressed with the Brazilian as well, the 5th place guy. I know he's young too, and he just this is his first Olympia. What was his name?
Let's see, 5th place. Hold on.
His structure and his the muscle bellies that he has.
Ramon.
Yeah, Ramon. That's him.
Yeah,
he was really impressive. Another couple of years.
Favorites in that lineup is Fabian Meyer. I think Fabian's got an incredible physique.
Yeah, you guys think Bumstead's going to run with it for a while?
I think so.
Yeah,
that condition, and I would say he could. You easily could.
Yeah.
Because he's dwarfing these guys.
Did you guys see on the scorecard that Brian just barely edged out the 4th and the 5th?
Oh, really?
18 and 21. So he's gonna really have to think about his next move. Brian, he's not going to move up here. As good as he looks.
Was this Brian's first show as classic?
No, he was the former champion. I think he was the 2-time champion, right? The first 2 years he was the classic champion, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. I'm sorry. Yeah,
he was.
I was talking to Ryan before you guys came on. Did you guys hear about this guy, this Zeke Andrews? See, he's got the DNF.
What's that?
Did not finish. Y'all hear about him oversleeping?
No,
He overslept.
See, so he
He
missed the
misprejudged.
altogether at the
Yeah.
Mr. Olympia contest, his first Mr. Olympia contest, and he he overslept.
Yeah.
You have a photo of him? Do you have his photo by any chance?
Let me find him on Instagram here.
That's one laid back dude.
Yeah, it's like Z physique or something like that. Yeah, here he is.
I mean,
no,
I don't
oh,
know.
no, that's not him.
I don't know about any of you guys, but I know Phil, you've kind of mentioned about it. I mean, who sleeps that deep the night before a show? I would have loved to. I would have loved to have done that.
Me too.
There's no way. Yeah.
Gee.
Couple of weeks before, I have a tough time sleeping.
I mean, I seen his picture. He looked good. He won the Miami Beach Pro or something like that to qualify.
Yeah, he's here. Let's see if I can find a stage shot of him.
Don't think he would have been like a major threat, but I mean,
Let's
looks
see him here.
good.
His
Really
conditioning
good.
here is really good.
yeah, that's the new. What do you place in the New York Pro?
Doesn't say here.
I mean, that side chest looks really good.
Yeah.
He must have got top 2 because the guy that won is standing right next to him.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Wesley Vissers?
Who?
Wesley Vissers.
Oh, yeah.
He could come in a little sharper, and then sometimes in a lineup looks a little bit wide in the midsection compared to the top guys. But
Right.
he's very, very good. You know, it's just could be a little sharper most of the time.
I really rate his physique. I think he's incredible.
Great.
Mhm. All right, so we'll get to the meat and potatoes here, the men's open. Unless you guys want to talk about men's physique. No. Everybody got quiet.
crickets.
Yeah, crickets. So let me ask y'all something. If obviously Rammy won, so for those who don't know, if Brandon Curry was the returning champion, would Brandon Curry have won?
Good question.
Well, he was defending champion last year.
Yep, same situation.
But was he his condition as good as he was?
No, I think he brought his legs up this year too, a little bit from last year.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Rammy last year too, I thought was a little bit better than this year.
Right.
Yeah.
I looked at a lot of when I just put my pictures together, you know, and I crop and put them together. Brandon's legs, when you forget about Hardy and Rammy, when he's with Hunter or Nick, they're not even that bad this year.
Yeah.
You know? But then next to the two leg freaks, and then it starts to look, and it's not so much just the legs, the glutes are very, very small.
Yeah, this thinking is, I was thinking, especially in the side shot, his hamstrings and his glutes are just kind of like very shallow and weak, especially in the side shots. That kind of hurts him. But his upper body's so, but then again, his upper body's so powerful. I mean, it kind of overpowers it, makes it look even smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they were like only 1 point apart after the prejudging.
Wow.
Really?
So he looked great.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of his best package. You know, he was a little bit harder at one time. He was a little bit, you know, it was better than last year. Absolutely. That's why he plays. So.
Yeah. What about Hottie? 2 years in a row, he gets people's champion and he gets third.
Wow, he's the best conditioned guy on stage. Number one. I don't know. Of course, there's always a little bit of politics in the Mr. Olympia. If you're the current title holder, you have to not only equal him, you have to really beat him, I think. And we noticed this in the past with Mr. Olympias. Once you get a hold of the title, you're going to be hard to bring down. Now, I don't think his condition, Rammy's was 100% at all, but it was enough to maintain the title.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. You know, you got to knock out the champ.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, I mean, it wasn't, I think Rammy was just a little off from his condition last year, but that being said, it's still, I think it was still good enough, especially from the back. When he turned around to the back, I mean, I mean, his glutes, his hams, everything was pretty. I mean, he was pretty complete.
It's still probably his third best shape, you know. So
Yeah.
beside the NOC in 2013 and last year's Olympia. Yeah, he was okay, you know. I'm okay, he winning, you know. So it's gonna be very hard for the guys like right now to catch up with him, you know.
Absolutely.
I don't know if Nick will ever bring those kind of leg development, you know, in the next few. It'll be very, very tough. So
Yeah.
I see him winning 3 or 4 times.
Right.
Phil, you didn't see it, but you actually got brought up when they were talking about the show. Did you hear about that?
No,
You got compared to Justin Rodriguez, his posing.
really.
Yeah, did y'all hear that when they were
I
talking
didn't know
about
that.
Yeah.
On the live stream.
Yeah, who was it that was talking?
Sean Ray, have you heard him?
Sean Ray. Sean Ray compared his posing to you. He actually
Wow.
talked about
I
it.
didn't
That's
know
cool.
that.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice to get a mention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
I'll tell you guys something I've never told anyone. Only my close friends know this. I'm actually Egyptian.
Really?
I was born in Egypt,
Okay.
and my parents brought me over. My biological parents brought me over. Something happened with my mom here. She must have passed away, I believe, the story I'm told, and I was adopted in America. So it's good to see an Egyptian bodybuilder. Over there, its genetics are incredible. I'm starting to see a lot of good Egyptian physiques come out of nowhere, it seems like to me.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
heard Chris
Yeah.
Aceto speak about that, the genetics of the Egyptian guys.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at all the general area of the Middle East over there, there's a lot of phenomenal bodybuilders that are coming out of that area.
Absolutely.
Mhm,
North
for
Africa,
sure.
the Middle East, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
And I think bodybuilders in that area of the world are highly respected too, more so than here. So
He,
there are a lot
he
more
looks like-
incentives. There's a lot more incentives to really, push it.
I hear Rammy lives like a king over there.
Oh,
was it?
sure. Yeah, he's a god.
I heard
over there.
Samuel Haddad talking about, I think it was him that was talking about not turning pro for so many years because even as an amateur,
You made good money.
Get paid well.
You
Yeah.
made
You
good-
remember?
yeah.
they paid him to compete for their federations.
Right. Yeah.
Do you remember Hamdullah Kutluk? He won about 5 Mr. Universe. So he won the Mr. Universe, I think, in 92, 93, went to the Olympia, placed 13th. So every time he won as an amateur, he got like an apartment in Istanbul. So as he came to the pro division and didn't play so well, he re-amateurized himself and went back as an amateur, living a big life and being very, very successful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's incredible the support they have over there. I went to Turkey several times, and people just stop everything they do when you walk through. They build a circle around you and start clapping. I mean, it's just. And remember Rammy last year at the airport?
Yeah.
Yep. Then he had a huge welcoming when he got home.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Amazing.
Like a hero's welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. There's another guy, Shahat El Mabrouk, I believe. He won the Mr. Universe like 10 times. Now he took second to Lee Labrada in '85 at the World Championship. Yes.
Yeah, I beat him on the overall in '94 at the Mr. Universe. The guy was
Okay. So he competed in '85 also.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
all the way up.
Yeah, the guy kept winning and winning and winning. Absolutely. It was great.
Stayed an amateur. And of course, with his size, what are you going to do in the pro category?
Right.
I think he was also an actor, what I know.
That maybe, yeah. I think I may have heard that too.
So
hear
there
that.
was no reason for him to go pro.
No. Or no reason at all.
Mm.
All right. So
Oh, JP, you sent me that picture of Rammy. I'll pull it up here. This one here you sent me.
Yeah.
This 2013 New York Pro and
Yep.
the left pass.
Oh, it's
21.
much better in 2013.
yeah,
Yeah.
Much better.
that was wasn't that his pro debut there at the New York Pro, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. When
You can tell he's hanging on, he's he's not going to improve. He's just hanging on and, more power to him. He's so good that he can win
Yeah.
with hanging on. You know, we see it with most great champions. You win, and then you just kind of hang on. It's hard to really improve, other than it can come in a little harder. Yeah, I was quite surprised
Drier and harder.
when I saw that. You know, it's not just that harder. It seems almost like a piece missing in the lower back here.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
back. Yep.
Yeah,
Right here.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Those.
Yeah.
There is a
Unless you
difference.
just-
Look at that. Wow.
yeah, unless you just like mid pose there, but yeah, it doesn't. make a
Yeah. Do you think
difference.
he's like arching his back a little too much
A
here?
little
What it
bit.
looks
Yeah.
like. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There's
yeah,
something
that
like
2013 was great.
but yeah, you see a little drier right on the left.
Much drier.
A little sharper. Yeah.
Yeah.
But even his
Paul-
pose is a little different. If you look at his legs, I mean, they
Yeah.
were much more quads flaring out, much more of an X frame in his presentation in 13 than he is right there in 21.
Well, his
Yeah,
posing's a lot different too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks a lot different. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the hardness and separation in his physique in 13 was way more crisp.
Yeah, in that picture for sure.
Yeah.
Where did he place in that show in 2013?
He won it.
Mhm.
I won that.
Yeah, he won the New York Pro as a pro debut there.
I
Mhm.
remember that. Yeah. I remember that well.
Paul, have you guys? I'm sure you guys have talked to Ian. How's he feel he did?
I haven't spoken to him myself.
No.
But well, he placed the same as last year, but I know, you know, placing 7th in the world. Can't be disappointed with that.
No, you
Yeah.
can't. Yeah.
And plus, Ian had a great year. You know,
Mhm.
2 wins, second at the Arnold's. You know, he had a outstanding year. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure he's feeling good about it. You know.
Hey, and think about 7th being about 80% of your best. That's pretty cool. I mean, as another
Definitely.
reminder, somebody is sitting here.
Mhm.
You know, that was I placed 7th, not looking really great. So it's,
Mhm.
you know, he had a great year. So unfortunately, there was just almost like one show too many. Yeah.
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 Now
I've been
what-
judging Ian since an amateur too. I see him come all the way up, and he's just he gets better and better every year.
Yeah. And what was the talk about Hunter? Something about how he was real holding a lot of water on Friday and Saturday
Yeah,
came in better.
Yeah, he started really pouring out on stage
Yeah.
during the prejudging.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think everybody has kind of like the top 3 kind of okay with that. I think from 4 on, I think there's a lot of mix up that people kind of like, you hear a lot of different contradicting statements about. So a good thing that we have Paul, maybe we can get some insight on those placings.
One thing I did hear from a lot of people who were there was that Hunter looked much better in person than he did on the live feed.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, take that for what it's worth. But in my experience, it is a big difference between being there and you know, watching on a live feed or looking at pictures on Instagram. Like Ian's another person that comes to mind, that Ian doesn't always look great on a live feed, but then you know, like he'll catch the right light and they'll zoom in or something, and you see how hard he really is. You know, where under certain lights he just gets washed out for some reason. You know, so that's one thing I did hear from a couple people who were at the Olympia, that Hunter was much more impressive in person. And he was a lot bigger, I thought, you know, than I've ever seen Hunter. But, you know, I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought that Nick should have been a place ahead of him.
Right.
I don't know, without being there, I think it's really difficult to say.
That's
But I mean, at that, you know, they're all great, you know, and I thought Justin looked awesome this year, Rodriguez. You know, that's a tough top 8 to crack, you know, top 8 to 10. That's a really tough 8 to crack that lineup there. There's some good bodybuilders in there.
Is that Akeem's best finish? 9th?
No, he placed
No,
6th.
he was 6th. Yeah.
Oh, he
was
did.
6th last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
And he was definitely, it wasn't the best version of himself. So
Mhm.
who knows why? I mean,
I've never seen Akeem at his best. I
I thought last year was
100%. He seems to be slightly 90% maybe, but I'm never 100%. I like to see him really dry out.
From head to toe.
Incredibly freaky.
Mhm.
Yeah, like everywhere, like his back everywhere.
Yeah. Oh,
dry out, you know?
absolutely.
Yeah, because he's hit it from the front before, I think.
from
Yeah,
the
not
front,
from the back, you know.
the front and the sides. I mean, he looks nutty, but that's where he kind of loses it from the back. Is his back shots, his mid back, and his back seems to always have like a good film. Either I don't know if it's the skin, like a thicker skin, or if he just holds a film of fluid there, or what it is. I mean,
He's got those high lats too, which doesn't help.
Highlight tie in. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, it makes a difference. Luckily,
But
he
I
has
thought-
small waist and wide shoulders, which
Yeah, he's
still has
massive.
that V taper.
Yeah, he
The
does.
highlight attachment.
I thought last year's Olympia was his best look that I see.
Yeah.
I thought he looked crazy last year.
Well, this Hunter thing, I don't know. I mean, I don't buy that at all. You have to be there. Yes, of course, it's always a little bit different to be there, but I mean, we all saw how he was sweating. I mean, it's just not acceptable to put him on 4th place, in my opinion. I don't know. I had him on 8th or 9th, maybe. So I seen the pictures backstage where he tried to make his case. Look, I'm much drier backstage when he was dried up in this good light back there. Yeah, he was better, but if you start sweating after 2 poses, this is just not acceptable. That means you carry so much water. And then at the end, when they had the top 4 there, he looked like an amateur next to those 3. I mean, we all know the top 3 were a little bit ahead. I had him on 8th or 9th. And then I always feel like nobody really criticizes him, not on the podcast, not on the live feed. I don't know what the hell. You can only guess what's going on here. I mean, there's just no way he should have been 4th. This is not even close,
Let me ask you guys a question. What happened to William Bonac? I didn't see good photos of him, but I expected him to be in the top 3 to 4.
Yeah, I was going to bring him up next.
He slipped to 6.
I had him in 4. The Bonac, we discussed it last week. The problem with Bonac is that he used to be better.
Yeah.
So now we expect the same again, but I had him in 4. His legs are slightly better than last year. He still brings enough for me to be 4th here in this show, and I never saw him better than 4th to start with. So he was pretty close.
I mean, it's just
4th there.
Yeah, is it just me, or are his legs like down a good bit?
Yeah.
And about for 2 or 3 years now, his legs are down, and since he's a little blocky, it's going to not help. But he was pretty good actually. His rear double biceps pose used to be also slightly stronger. But sometimes also he doesn't bring the lats out really in the rear double biceps pose.
Yeah.
9% of the time, I always seem like this. They just got the picture wrong. But even when I watch it live, but he was very good. I had him clearly on 4th, or at least battling out with Nick for the 4th place. No way.
Yeah, William's extremely consistent. You never see him like off. He's always on, whether there's just something going on with his overall size and his shape.
And it is very hard as a judge to forget the past completely.
Yeah.
We all do it, and I think 4th nobody would complain if he would have been 4th.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked Nick. I mean, in that 4th place position, I would have had him. I mean, based on like I said, being that you're not there in the front row, but based on what I've seen, I liked, especially from when he turns to the back, his back double, is just like a lights out shot, and his side shots are pretty good. His side triceps really good. His front doubles, come a long way.
No real weak points. With Nick.
What happened to Rolly?
Wow, that was a disappointment.
Yeah, he didn't look good at all. Yeah,
No, he did not.
He had a bad year.
Yeah, we talked about him at the pre-show. He hadn't been posting any pictures, and somebody said that probably wasn't a good thing.
Probably not a good thing. Yeah, if they start hiding themselves when.
Yeah.
Rolly always had those weak out shots in the anabolic mirror and oxygen. So you don't see those. There's something going on.
I don't understand if Rolly is, after starting to control his midsection so well, over some period of time, after having the problem for many years, going back to this now. I mean, what the hell is that? You're not practicing something again, or is Chris not in your corner anymore? I don't understand why he suddenly lets that belly hang out again after he knows of the problem. It was a little bit disappointing. So
I expected him to be in the top numbers, just 100%. I would have bet on him to be in the top 3 or 4 in condition, of course.
Yeah. Because he got the people's champion a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah. I think he's been as high as 3rd or 4th.
I mean, when we saw in the couple of shows he did this year that this back 3 or 4 will probably not happen. But I was hoping, if 7, 8 around there and 11 is a shock.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Does anybody know the definitive reason why this year, why he's hasn't been in his typical shape or size? I don't think he's come out and said anything about it. But
the guy is the biggest freak I've probably ever seen. It's not easy to hang on to that. You know, he's doing this for many, many years. He's probably doing still a lot right, other than maybe controlling the midsection. It's just very, very hard to stay on that level. I remember when my wife and I had a very good seat not long back, and she's like, "Oh my God, this guy is much bigger than Rammy." You know, I mean, pound. It's just not. It's just not easy. Maybe he's slightly on the decline. It's possible. You know, it's many, many years now. Maybe he has to take a break or just retire. I don't know. But he's still very, very big. You know, if he would be drier and control his midsection, we would never see him before. We're like, oh my God, who the hell is this? But he's on the declining kind of, you know, on the big decline. That's unfortunately what happens.
Am I wrong, or did he not compete all year last year?
Well,
I don't think he did.
Yeah, I know he didn't make it to the States for the Olympia. So,
well, you remember he qualified by getting second place at that show over in Europe, wasn't it?
He did. Didn't he do the Arnold earlier in the year? Did he do the Arnold in 2020 before COVID shut everything down? No,
I don't think so.
I know he was stepping last year, and then he did bail out because of COVID in one show last year.
Mm-hmm.
But he's has to rethink where he's going from here.
Yeah, I think Rolly's got the tail end of his career.
Yeah.
How old are you guys, Rolly? Do you guys know?
40-ish.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
Yeah, he's in his 40s.
I didn't know.
He turned pro at the Arnold Amateur. That would be at least 10 years ago, at least.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Did Phil Heath actually say why he wasn't competing?
I saw a day before the show or 2 days before the show. He seems very, very busy. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So,
who's that?
I don't know.
Valuetainment. He was on with them doing like a play-by-play for the Olympia.
I don't know why Phil, why he would want to come back at this point.
There's nothing to prove at this point, right? There's nothing to prove. You've done everything. 7 Mr. Olympias. That's good. I can live with that.
Sure. It's time to move on.
It's time to move on.
Yeah. He said he's etched his legacy in stone for the sport. So
absolutely.
Nothing else to prove.
No, nothing to prove.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see how great he was, though. I don't think in the moment we realized how good Phil was. But now his retirement, I think
it's also incredible in the comments of any Instagram page how the fans start to already now more and more appreciate, what he brought to the table.
Yeah.
And it will be even more in the future. Absolutely.
Yeah. History will be good to him.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's for sure.
I went all the way to Denver to see his pro comeback, his pro debut. I originally went to see Gary Striden's comeback.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I knew this is something else. This young kid.
Yeah. How old was Gary when he made that comeback?
He came in 8th.
How old was he? Was he 50?
Oh, he was 48, 50, 48.
And he still looked great too, eh?
Wow.
He was fantastic,
one of the greatest ever.
Just one post he had a little bit of an issue with. Other than that, he was absolutely great.
What about Hollingshed? He didn't do as good as I think some people thought he was going to do.
Missed his mark, yeah.
He was in good shape. It's just, that's what I kind of felt when he walked out. This is not Instagram, and he has to do those improvements another year or two. He made a big jump since last year. He's way better.
Yeah, I mean, he still looks great. Don't get me wrong. He's a big boy.
Great, and only slightly off from the 10th place. And if he makes the future improvements like he did the last year, he's going to move into those top 10, if not top 6. Later.
Yeah. I think James, if you see James like a week out, 5 days out, he looks incredible. I think he just mistimed it. I think he just mistimed everything he's done. It's happened to me when I competed, where you can almost end up being too flat and you look fat.
Yep. The muscle's not pushing.
If your muscle's not pushing out, you lose that tightness.
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything that he didn't diet hard enough. If anything, he probably dieted too hard and ended up coming in and looking flat. But I think James has got that Dorian Yates graininess. I think he's got incredible physique. I'm very impressed with James.
There's some physiques that they just if they're flat, they just won't do their physique justice. I don't know if you guys remember Dennis Wolf when he would compete. If he had to be extremely full, and his physique had to be popping. If he was just a tad bit flat, it would throw him way off.
Wash out. Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't there a show? Isn't there a show in England next week?
Yeah, Sunday morning.
And James is doing that show, I believe, and I'll bet you he looks a lot different there.
They will.
I think Diash's Nathan's doing that show as well.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's gonna be a good match.
Yeah, so that'd be good. That'll be a good show.
Yeah.
The Brit.
Yeah.
Brit.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Probably Samson. Samson will probably be there too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they'll get
I'm
qualified for next year.
Ian wanted to do the show, but the paperwork kind of threw him off. I just did the paperwork for Italy. I'm going in 2 weeks, and it's wow. I mean, it's just I had to go like 20 minutes through forms, and now I can't find that stupid form. It says it's in the system, but I hope that's going to be the case when I travel from Switzerland to Italy. It's quite difficult right now, so that keeps kind of a lot of people away from the shows right now over there in Europe.
Yeah. I think we just opened the border to Canada, didn't we, Paul?
Yeah, then next month it opens. Yeah.
Yeah, but vaccinated, right?
Yeah. Yeah, been closed for what, a year and a half?
Yeah, about that.
You can still fly in. You could fly into the US still, but to drive over.
Now, do you guys have to? If you go back to Canada, do you guys still got to quarantine for 10 days?
Not if you're vaccinated.
Not if you're vaccinated. So that's how
you still have to have a test. You got to get a test. Yeah. Regardless.
They make you guys get it with the customs?
They're talking about it. They haven't. They've been talking about it, but they haven't come up with the official policy yet. So we're all waiting to find out. Still, it's crazy to me how people been working there for the last year and a half, and now they're saying you're not safe to work there.
Hey man, you moved to Florida.
Yeah, I know. Only free place left.
That's right, man. We can still walk outside naked here.
I don't know if I'd take advantage of that, but well, Texas too, right?
Texas, yeah. Texas got their border issues though, man. It's a little different than your border.
Yeah, much different.
Yeah. So I think we lost Phil, huh?
I'm saying we lost Phil, yeah.
Yeah. Must have said something to piss him off.
I'm not doing myself. I've got a lot of stuff to do for this show this weekend.
Yeah. No, that's good with me. I mean, we hit all the highlights that I wanted to talk about, I think.
Do you promote that show, Ian?
Yeah, I promote the PCA across the whole of the USA, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you do any promoting with Ron Hache?
No.
No, from Canada? No. He's doing some promoting in France now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like my boss, kind of.
Right.
I promote a couple shows in Canada. Me and Fouet put on a couple shows together.
All right. Yeah, cool. I got connected with a guy called Ryan Alexander in England. He started the PCA, and it's booming. I mean, in England, it's like the dominant federation, and we're in like South Korea, Russia, Australia. We're in 35 countries now.
Oh, is it affiliated with the IFBB Pro League?
No, it's
a
separate federation. It's called the Physical Culture Association. But we've got some really good athletes, like really high standard. That when we were talking about other athletes from other countries, that's one thing that I've noticed a big difference in is like some of the quality of the athletes from these countries where nobody would have dreamed you would get athletes from Korea or India. And there's some really good athletes coming out of these countries now. Really good athletes.
Some good bodybuilders coming out of Korea.
Yeah, there really is. Amazing.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot more Asians.
Yeah, I just judged a show in Vancouver. There was a guy there from Korea. I think he lives in BC, but he's Korean immigrant, I believe. Man, this dude was impressive.
Yeah,
very impressive. Yeah,
And some really good athletes from Asia. I mean, we're really strong in South Korea. They've got about 40 shows in South Korea. And some of the athletes are coming in really good conditioning, man. Like really sharp, you know. So yes, it's cool. It's cool to meet all these people from all over the world. It's nice.
For sure.
Memories.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So what's with the beard, man?
COVID.
Yeah.
COVID beard, I guess.
COVID beard. I
I
almost
know.
didn't recognize you.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get rid of it soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever now.
Yeah. How's the shows doing over there?
Good. They're finally up and running again. We finally got audiences again.
Yeah.
Which has been cool. Like I said, I was in Vancouver this past weekend. I did 2 shows there in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
They had limited audience, but right afterwards they announced that restrictions for audiences have been lifted. Excuse me. So I've got a pro qualifier coming up in Toronto in December. So I got two in Toronto coming up. One in November, one in December. And there should be no restrictions on audiences there. But you have to be vaccinated. And then I'm doing a pro show in Toronto in December. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, cool.
How long has it been closed down over there?
We were closed in Ontario, where I live. It's a province of Canada. Our gyms just reopened last June, at the end of June. So they were pretty much closed right until July. They were closed for about 6 months. So we're just kind of coming out of things still right now. Like restaurants and that have just reopened in the last few months. They locked us down pretty hard here, which I know in the UK you guys got locked down pretty hard too.
It messed us up because I'm in Florida. I'm not in the UK, but we normally have shows in several different states like New Mexico, and we couldn't do anything. Even this year, I think every show we've had has been in Florida. We haven't had any shows out of state.
That's like the only state you could have shows for a while.
It's been a nightmare. It's been a real nightmare. It limits how many qualifiers you can have, so it's limited our numbers too, without a doubt. Yeah.
And the competitors too, a lot of them aren't vaccinated. So a lot of them aren't allowed to compete now too. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how this all plays out. I don't know.
Are you guys getting to where they are? Like, I think like California is you got to have vaccinations going to restaurants and, gyms and all that. You guys are getting that too? Yeah.
In Switzerland, the police is going to the gym, calling the vaccination cards. So if the floor number doesn't match up with the vaccination cards, they're kicking everybody out. I mean, it's extreme, So I'm going to Europe in 2 weeks, and I'm a little, not too excited about it, especially when you go into different countries. I hope my CDC card will do it,
Yeah. Where did I see that video where that cop was beating that guy's ass? I think that was Australia. Did you see that? Or the cops for not wearing his mask? The cop.
I think I did read about that.
Yeah, he starts beating this guy's ass because he took his mask off. He was smoking a cigarette. Yeah. Wow. I wish we could do that here. Oh, just kidding. I'm kidding.
So, did you get vaccinated, Jean-Pierre? Are you going to have to get vaccinated to go abroad?
Yeah, I got vaccinated. A little bit reluctant, but yes, I did.
So you can travel?
Yeah, you can't live in my family not being vaccinated. It's like, my father-in-law used to take my temperature when I went to his house.
Oh, wow.
So I caved, So, I talked with all this stuff I put in my body being younger. That's not where I should draw the line, Yeah. Although my card was kind of off, the wrong birthday, wrong name on it, because it was very hectic when I went to get vaccinated. And now to change that, it's just a nightmare. So I'm a little bit afraid, I'm going to run into trouble being birth year 96 when I travel to Europe. So so I walked the place I was vaccinated is not open anymore. It was an emergency center, and I tried to go to other doctors to change their card. It was not possible. The digital record is not available right now because my name, everything is off. So I'm just gonna probably get tested when I get to Europe, just in case, you know, I run into trouble. So it's, you know, Swiss restaurants, you need to be vaccinated, or gyms. So, or a 72-hour test. So I'm gonna just get tested. But I remember when I traveled last time, you know, when you come back to the United States, and when I went to Italy, you have to get tested. And, you know, can you imagine you test positive? You cannot go home. I was like, Jesus, you know, so I told the pharmacist, can we do something if I test positive? He didn't like my joke very much. So,
Normally we have like international athletes coming over to compete with us, but I mean, none of them.